Welcome. Thank you so much. Hi, I see all these beautiful faces popping in here. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Loving Kindness Legacy launch show. This is our very first show. And I am so incredibly honored and grateful to have my dear new friend, Daniel Colantonio, and he is going to be talking to us about his amazing organization, which is Serve.Earth. Can we ask you to type into the chat where you're watching from, and please share this out. Let people know that we are live, and type into the chat where you're watching from. Let's focus on knowing that we are this beautiful global family, and this show is dedicated to bringing the non-physical teachers with our beautiful physical teachers that are still here. We're combining all of the ways that we can work together to create a more compassionate and a more kind world. And Daniel and I are going to be talking about Yogi Bhajan tonight. We're also going to be talking about Mr. Rogers. And these are two beautiful souls who are still guiding many of our missions. So I'm excited. Daniel, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
So everyone, please share this out and let people know that we're live, and type into the chat where you're watching from. I'm gonna let people know. Hey Jay, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hi John Crowley. Thank you so much for being here. Please share this out. Terry Angel, my dear sweet gratitude girl. I love you, honey. Thank you for being here. Yes, please share this to all the groups. Let's share this out and fill the room with love and light. We have so much to be grateful for here, and so many beautiful ways that we can connect with each other. So I want to share a little bit about the work that Daniel is doing in the world, and share a little bit about the amazing man that he is. Daniel was born and raised in Boston area, and he studied political science, philosophy at Boston University. He moved to California in 2007, which began a decade-long pursuit of spiritual development. Daniel has spent much of his past 20 years coaching both in professional, in sports, in sales, in managing, in marketing, and community service and development. He combines his passion for community and team building. In 2014, he created Hustlers for Humanity, a community service team that has recruited hundreds of volunteers and supported dozens of Santa Barbara nonprofits. He's a strategic visionary thinker, and his work is focused on uniting humanity and developing communities. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for all the work that you're doing in the world, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Love sharing about what I'm up to. So thanks for the opportunity.
And Daniel, you have had an incredible journey, and you're also a Kundalini yoga student, and you studied the followings of Yogi Bhajan, and you're also a Kundalini yoga student, just like myself. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I wanted to talk about your journey, your spiritual journey, and how you feel that you are being guided by that beautiful energy.
Fantastic. We'd love to talk about that. You would like me to share my story of how I got into Kundalini yoga? Maybe how that.
I would like you to share your whole story, Daniel. I'd like to have you do the backstory. I'd like to have you talk about the wounds to the wisdom and what you've actually accomplished. You're just an amazing, amazing individual. And I'm just so honored to share your story, because I know that everyone here is going to be so inspired by the work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'll tell a little bit about how I came to not only just Santa Barbara, but California to begin with, because that really changed my life about 11 years ago. after college, when I studied at Boston University, found myself working a job that wasn't really that inspiring for me. It was a nice opportunity to start with, but it was really what turned into was kind of that typical 9 to 5 where you kind of fear yourself. You could stay a lot too long, let's put it that way. And I realized pretty early on, it was my first job out of college. After about a year and a half, realized that I could end up there for the rest of my life if that was one thing I wanted to do, just kind of play it safe and continue to have my full-time job, and had a lot of stability at that time right after college, but I was not happy at all. And that was really apparent to me. I realized I was not doing what I loved to do. I wasn't taking any chances. I was not growing. And I was just 23 years old. I was 24. So I don't know if you can call that a midlife crisis just yet. Still pretty young, but I feel like that's kind of what I was going through, was this shift that kind of told me I need to step out of my comfort zone. I need to go for something. And at that time in my life, I'd already fallen in love with California on a family trip when I was in high school. Took a trip to San Diego for a couple of days, and I just had an experience sitting at Coronado Island outside the Hotel Del Coronado on the Pacific Ocean. And it was just a sunny afternoon in San Diego, but it was the first one I'd ever experienced. And I really just really resonated with me. It really felt like home. And that was when I was 15 or 16 years old. So that feeling really stuck with me throughout my teenage years and college years. And here I was after college with a dream really to write movies. I really loved writing, and that's what I discovered through college, was studying philosophy and political science. Originally was going to go to law school, which totally did not inspire me by the time I graduated. I really wanted to write. And it was this feeling of wanting to write that pulled me out to California. It was really just an excuse to get out there and out here, because that's where I am now. So I packed my car in 2007 and moved across the country. And as I'm sure a lot of other people have done, you go to a new place and you're going to go for it in an adventure. And that's really all I had, was a dream and a vision to write movies. But really what I was doing was really starting to follow my heart for the first time, in my intuition, which was guiding me out of that job and to new and to become someone new. And so I moved out to California to pursue writing, loosely to pursue writing, and more for the weather. And so for the next few years, life kind of took me in some different directions. I started studying business and entrepreneurship, and had a lot of really great friends that were also doing sales and marketing. And that was all new for me. So I never learned really anything about business. I never really thought to become an entrepreneur. I was more of a creative guy. So this kind of really shifted my life. And at the same time, I started to fall into some personal development programs and some education, things I'd never heard of before. I took a course called Landmark Education that was big for me at the time. And I started studying personal development books and reading a lot of great books, The Alchemist being one of them, a really amazing book. One of the best
book. That book was one of the biggest changers in my life. My husband and I read it together, and what was so amazing was it really brought our relationship so much closer, because he could finally see that this is my personal legend. And a lot of times when, I will get out of my comfort zone, he'll say, you got to do it. It's your personal legend. And it's just so great to have that team, and I love that book. So highly recommend The Alchemist, you guys, a great book.
And what's interesting about that book, and it's truly wonderful. I ended up helping get that book into probably about 50 or 60 classrooms.
Awesome.
Just a wonderful guy, Victor Palomares, kindergarten CEO, if he's watching. Wonderful guy in LA, and he's a teacher and entrepreneur, and he wanted to teach that book. So we supported him, my brother and I, and we getting a bunch of those copies into his classrooms. It's such a powerful story.
Yes.
But one of the things about that story that's really wonderful, you mentioned, personal relationships and people around you. That young boy in his journey, he had to go and discover those people on his journey. He left home and ventured out with a dream and really trusting his heart across the world. And all the people he encountered, he couldn't have planned that. Those weren't his friends when he set out on his journey, but they became his friends. Those people he ran into, the people he worked alongside, even the people that, that maybe caused him a lot of harm in his life during this story. They were all there to teach him lessons and support him on his journey, which is really what that book's about, is just following your heart. And that's, I can relate so much to that story of just following your heart, and all these great people, start to be pulled back to you, right? What you put out is what you get back. So that's really how a lot of my journey in Los Angeles was going. As I started studying personal development, as things were happening in my life that put me on my spiritual path, I ended up finding Agape Spiritual Center in Los Angeles, one of my favorite places in the world. A happy birthday to Michael Bernard Beckwith, his birthday just the other day on Saturday.
Michael, awesome.
Types of things really fell into my lap, not because I was looking for them, but because things would show up in my life that forced me down to a certain direction or to ask for guidance from the universe. And that's really what happened. A couple years in, I had an experience. As I will share the experience, it was tough. A friend of mine, actually, a really good female friend of mine, came to me and told me that she had been raped. She had been sexually assaulted, and it was a really powerful experience in her life. And it really hit home for me. It was really a hard thing to hear. One of my best friends had gone through such an experience, and this set me down my spiritual path. I was devastated at the time, and I kind of asked for guidance and surrendered in that moment, and I didn't know why this was happening to her, and I was so angry, and it brought me to Agape Spiritual Center that Sunday, and where I went every single Sunday for the next year plus. So those types of things, right, they'll happen and you don't necessarily know why at the time. And, if you ask for guidance, blessings can come from the mess. And in this case, it was finding Agape, but also starting to study the power of the mind and starting to study consciousness. And this is something that has really profoundly changed my life. Actually, I'm going to hold up a book that I've been studying for about 9 or 10 years now, called The Prosperity Bible. And
Love that.
I ran into, my brother actually found it at the LA library. Okay. He brought this home and he just was looking at it. And I came over and we were looking at it together and I couldn't believe it existed. I was just looking at this, and it's all about the power of the mind and consciousness. And it's a collection of 19 books by different authors, including Ernest Holmes and Charles Fillmore and Napoleon Hill and Florence Shinn. And it's truly just a wonderful collection. I've been studying this for 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah.
And when these types of things fall into your lap, it's like this has profoundly changed my life.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I didn't plan this to happen.
It's called the Prosperity Bible.
Prosperity Bible. It's a wonderful collection. You can get it on Amazon.
Okay, I'm going to put it in here for everybody.
I've given this book to so many people. I've recommended it to so many people, and I take it all around town with me wherever I go, and people will stop and talk about it. I've studied it with friends and groups, and it's truly a wonderful collection. I recommend anybody on this call look at it and pick it up. It'll be the best, maybe best one of the books you got in your collection. I'll tell you that. So I started studying this. That was not why I moved out. But that is what I, was really the reason I think I moved out to California, was to find my path. Which takes me to Kundalini Yoga, Bhajan, which is what. This is not something I was seeing all my life, but I was. A really good friend of mine was learning to teach Kundalini. Actually offered me a pass to this yoga studio, Golden Bridge Yoga Studio at the time, and it was like a pass for like 10 or 15 classes where I didn't have to pay for them. Just got handed them. Here you go. What a gift, right? I'd never done yoga in my entire life.
And what the heck is that?
Anyways, right? I discovered Kundalini to invite me to a class, and I loved it. And it's something that I learned quickly. And I noticed about 2 or 3 months after Kundalini Yoga that things in my life were either starting to slip away or come to me very quickly. And it was actually, I think, just in a period of 3 or 4 months where I started doing Kundalini Yoga, and then I packed my car and moved up to Santa Barbara. All in the span of about 4 months. I mean, I decided to leave. I decided to give up what I was doing. Things had already kind of started to slip away. The business I was working on had faded away. People in my life had moved on. I was kind of left in a place of, what's next? And then Yogi Bhajan came into my life, and I started to do this practice, use mantras and really hope, meditate. Things in my life started slipping away. Just pack up and move somewhere. And in May 2012, I packed my car. I gave away most of my belongings. I sold some things, gave away most of my belongings. I went through my personal box that I'd held on for 10 years, all my old pictures and love letters and all these things I had held on to. I gave them all up. I actually went through and blessed all my photographs of all the people in my life. These physical pictures, right? Everything's online now and digital anyways, right? I got a stack of pictures I'm holding on to, and I realized I could give them up. I didn't need these anymore. And it was such a great experience as I went through one by one and saw these old pictures of family and friends. A lot of people still in my life, a lot of people that, had left because they were friends years ago. And I realized that I didn't need these pictures to continue a relationship with these people. I could call them up on the phone, build new relationships, and I could take new pictures. So that was a really powerful process for me, was to go through these pictures and give and throw them away after blessing each one and the people in the pictures. And so by the time I was done, I had what could fit in my car, and that's all that came with me to Santa Barbara, California, up the coast 90 miles, 5 years ago now, or 6 years ago now. Sorry. So Yogi Bhajan and Kundalini really set me on a path that really helped me even further start to trust my intuition, start to trust my heart. I was living in a lot of presence and feeling more free than I'd ever felt. And that's what enabled me, I think empowered me to be able to pack up and just move to a new place again. And it brought me to Santa Barbara. And a lot of great things have happened to me in the last few years because of that move. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the organization that you have, that you and your brother started. And I have put the link in so you guys can go check it out at serve.earth. And Daniel is looking for nonprofit organizations to be beta testers. I'm going to be one of them. I'm helping him to find people who are interested in helping to further a beautiful app that he has created, and he's working with his brother and several other people on this amazing app. So tell a little bit about that also.
Yeah, I'll tell first about projects which I launched. Led to this app I'm developing right now. So 4 years ago now at Earth Day, I started Hustlers for Humanity. And this is a nonprofit we started with the intention of so I'm going to continue to.
Okay.
Okay. So about 4 years ago, we started an organization for humanity, which is a team of volunteer service in our local community. And the idea comes from with past coaching, with youth basketball and baseball, and business coaching, and also an organization my dad started in Newton, Massachusetts, about 15 years ago now. It's called Athletes Serving the Community, ASC. We started helping, some friends started helping younger people in high school, including my younger brother, volunteer together in the community as a team. It was a fun project. They didn't need to do any of the volunteerism. They weren't required to do it. We just knew if they got together, they would do some positive work outside of all the sports they were playing and how well they were doing in school. The organization thrived. And long story short, my brother and I, when we were new to town, we found it really difficult to meet new people and to find a way to impact the community, because we didn't know anyone. We weren't connected, right? It wasn't our community yet. We lived here, but we didn't know necessarily how to tie into opportunities to get involved, things that were going on in the community that needed attention. We thought that was a challenge. We thought that was an issue that needed solving. Let's put it that way. So we started this group called Hustlers for Humanity, and we launched it at the Earth Day Festival with the intention of teaming up residents in Santa Barbara to serve the community around us. And we started basically getting email addresses from strangers at the festival over Saturday and Sunday, people that wanted to volunteer. And we were just pitching them on this crazy idea we had. And one thing led to another. We started volunteering. There was a few people, led to a few more people. One event led to another event. And this group, Hustlers for Humanity, has been a passion project of ours for 4+ years. We've now grown to several hundred people who have joined the group. We've been all over town the last 4 years, volunteering, supporting nonprofits and major causes. And at the same time, learning a lot of the challenges that come in the nonprofit sector of recruiting volunteers, of engaging millennials, and also tracking volunteer hours where they're needed. And at the same time, we realized from the other side, a volunteer, a younger person in particular, that these in college, just out of college, in the community, they might not know how to get involved yet. They haven't done a lot of work in the world where they've met a lot of contacts and know how to sit on boards and know how to run meetings and all these kinds of things. But there's a huge enthusiasm for younger people to make a difference in the world, to be fulfilled, to serve. So we thought if we could develop a platform that could do a lot of this work, track the hours, to make it easier for the volunteer coordinator, community organizer, to connect to younger people that want to get involved with their work, spread awareness. donate $5 or $10 at a time, whatever a millennial could have. We knew there was a real need here. At the same time, social media, and I know you know social media really well, there's so many challenges happening with the way social media is used, with the current biggest platforms on the web and what they're intended for, and advertising. And we knew there was a real need here from both sides, the younger person and the volunteer coordinator of the nonprofit and community. And that's where we had the idea to bring those two together to develop a new platform. It's called Serve Community, serve.community. Serve.earth is our corporate site. They both go to that same place. But Serve Community is a new business technology startup here in Santa Barbara that is linking millennials to opportunities to connect to nonprofits and causes that they care about. And at the same time, serve as an organizing tool for clubs, for organizers on campuses and communities to organize their team, the community that they're building around those causes that they care about. So this match between a social network for younger people around service and tools for nonprofits that are a little better than what's out there, a lot better than what's out there. That's what's inspiring us right now, and that's what we're working on with this Serve Community platform and company. And we're super inspired by it. Plus, there's some amazing partners. They're doing some really important work around the world, realizing that this platform is not just here for people in Santa Barbara, but this is somewhere we're going to be bringing this platform to communities around the country and the world, including to young people, to college students. So if you're hearing this out there and watching this, we're definitely looking to connect with more organizers in big communities around the United States and world, people that have connections to colleges that they work for or with at the local level. Definitely please reach out and connect around these issues. We'd love to chat with you and connect around bringing our platform to your organization or your community.
Awesome. Awesome. That's wonderful, Daniel. Thank you so much. What a wonderful project. And anybody who wants to type into the chat right now, we have time for a few questions. If anybody would like to type into the chat anything that they would like to have a question answered, or if you would like to make a comment, or just anything that you're excited about hearing, this wonderful project that's happening. We need this. I mean, I'm in the nonprofit business, and so I know how desperately we need this this service. And so Daniel's really met a real need in the community in Santa Barbara, and also Afghanistan also, correct?
Yeah, we are working alongside some really wonderful people, a couple of gentlemen named David Gershon and John Raymer,
Right.
working on a game called the Peace on Earth game. And right now working with students in Kabul, Afghanistan, as well as on UC Santa Barbara campus here in Santa Barbara, which are really polar opposites.
So exciting.
And yeah, so really excited to be engaging these youth in Afghanistan and really learning, you know, and people all around the world, young people all around the world. Doesn't matter where they're from, they need to be connected and united to each other. Because the more we see ourselves and others, right, the more we want to go out there and inspire the world and help the world. We start to see those similarities. And that's what we're doing. There's a lot of commonalities that we don't necessarily think about across the world from each other, but we're all just human beings. And a lot of the same challenges are happening in communities all around the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that it's so important that, you know, that we find each other and that we collaborate and work together and co-create the type of world that we all are really desiring to experience. And just like Daniel said over and over again in his talk with us, he said, you know, he really listened to his own inner voice, his own inner guidance. And then the book, The Alchemist, the same thing. He really listened to his own inner guidance and his own trust. You know, everybody who's been following me since 2014, you know that I was given this mission and this gift to have global kindness go viral. And the truth is, I had no idea how to use social media at the time when it came to me, when the idea came to me. And the same as what Daniel was saying, I just had to trust and take those steps in the direction that I felt called to. And the same as what he was sharing with us about how him and his brother, you know, decided to let go of everything and just focus the attention on the vision and the dream and look at now. So tell me about now. How is life for you now, Daniel?
Life is truly wonderful. I'm under the belief that life is unfolding, every moment. And the closest we could be to just being present right in the moment, right? We're truly alive in those moments. When we're not, when we're thinking about the past or engaging about the future, and we're not alive. We're not truly there. And I think the more present we can be, the more things start to show up to us.
Absolutely.
I'm an Alchemist, and these books, it's taught me to live in that space of openness and adaptability, and asking questions from within, and learning listening to my heart and what I'm being guided to do next. And that's where my projects have led me, is being very fulfilled in life. I'm working on things that I'm truly passionate about, which is a blessing. And ultimately, that's all I really wanted. I think people ultimately just want to be doing something they love. And if you can do that, you'll be really fulfilled. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how big the house is, you've got all that stuff, right? If you're living from your heart and you're putting out in the world what you're proud of, and often that comes in service. That's what I've learned from studying, consciousness and studying prosperity. The first law of success is service, is to give of yourself.
Right.
So caught up in trying to get and trying to make enough money and trying to get through the day, you're not living from a place of service and what can I give. And all the good things in my life have come from that place of how can I serve today? And the Hustlers for Humanity, it started from how could we serve together? A platform, how could we serve young people, nonprofits, organizers? And we didn't know how we were going to turn it into a business yet. But the intention of Hustlers was never to turn it into a business. It was to do it because we felt the idea was what was driving us. And if we could do this idea, we'll be fulfilled. It will work.
Yeah.
How it would make money, how we could turn it into this business. That was not the intention. The intention was to do it because we were called to do it. If you're in that space, then you'll start to fall into the things that you love most and start to do those things. The more you do those things, it will lead to more opportunities and more fulfillment. And that's where my life's at now. Truly blessed, and amazing blessings have happened in my life just by, allowing things from my heart has allowed a lot of prosperity in my own life. So I'm a truly blessed person in Santa Barbara, California. I can't complain about anything. I didn't complain about anything. I love life. That's where I'm at right now.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for being here for our first show of Loving Kindness Legacies. We are carrying on the messages and the beautiful, beautiful missions of these amazing, loving souls. And what a blessing it is to be able to bring to you these wonderful, wonderful guests. Every week, this is going to be here on Spirituality Gone Wild. We're a channel that's dedicated to raising the levels of compassion, gratitude, joy, love, kindness, and peace on earth. That's what this media channel is all about, using social media for a greater good, just as Daniel has done, using all of his tools for a greater good. It's all about really bringing in what you have to the game and playing the game as powerfully and as loving as you possibly can. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you all the beautiful people who are here. If you can go, Daniel, let them know the best way to contact you if they're interested in connecting.
Yeah, please go to serve.community and you'll find our website, serve.community, and serve.earth will take you to the same place. And you can go ahead and fill that form out at the bottom there. It's a contact form. And just put your info in there and pitch it over to us with a comment if you'd like, and just connect. Let us know where you're from. And I'll reach out to anyone who reaches back out to us. We'd love to connect with you. And thanks for coming on and hearing my story. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm so grateful that you are so honest and so transparent about your experience to share with all the people who are struggling right now to know, what is my purpose? What am I here for? There has to be something more. Trust that. If you're feeling that, trust that, and really Listen to your own awakened heart and pay attention. Know that you attracted this message, that you brought this message into your field, and there's a reason why you're hearing it. If it touched your heart in any way, please share it. Share the replay. Let people know that it touched your heart. Watch it with somebody that you love and say, you know, I want to watch this with you because I love you, because I appreciate you. Let people know how much you appreciate them. Don't just take that for granted that they know. Let them know. Tell them. And always take the time to focus on, where can I serve? How can I serve? What's the best way that I can be of service today? Ask yourself that every morning. And then enjoy the benefits of all the miracles that come to you when you set your intention just like that. And what would you like to say in closing, Daniel?
Honestly, Karen, you stole the words out of my mouth. I mean, that's just how our relationship's been so far. But I was going to say, that's the one question I like to ask and empower you to ask. How could I serve? How could I serve today? How could I serve with my life? And allow the answers to show up.
Well, I really believe that Yogi Bhajan brought us together, and I do. I believe that with all my heart, and that's why the words are flowing between us. And, you know, there is no separation. That's the only illusion that needs healing on our planet right now, is the illusion that we're separate. We are one global family, and when we start to realize that and see that, we will actually start to experience it. It's up to us, though, right? It's up to us. How awesome. Yes. Yay. Ann Ruiz says, yes. Hope, love, kindness. Yay. Thank you for sharing that, Ann Ruiz. Where are you watching from, Ann? I think you might be a new person. I don't recognize your name. So please type into the chat where you're watching from. I am in Southern California, and Daniel is in Southern California. And he is, like I said, working in the beautiful Santa Barbara area. And he'll be coming up to see me tomorrow to bring together my family. My blood family is going to get involved in this beautiful mission and this beautiful, beautiful project. I'm so excited that he's going to meet my daughter, who is a millennial, my nephew, who's a millennial, and we're going to get these beautiful generations to be, in Texas. Awesome, Ann Ruiz. Yes, you are new here. Welcome. Well, thank you for being here, Ann. We are so grateful for you to join us. We have Spirituality Gone Wild family on Facebook. So if you want to join our group, I call it our dream incubator, and everyone is welcome to join, and you can just share what your dream is, what your vision is, so that we can all come together in one space and hold that vision for each other. And that's what the Spirituality Gone Wild family is on Facebook. So please feel free to ask to join, and this is a wonderful place where you can cross promote, so you can share any of the work that you're doing in the world, and we'll help cross promote. And I have a huge platform of beautiful, beautiful community of amazing people that are really great at sharing. So if you're feeling called, join our beautiful global family. We're so grateful for each and every one of you, especially all the beautiful, beautiful founding members of Spirituality Gone Wild who have been with us since we just started. And this beautiful community has grown into such a beautiful global family. We're so grateful for each and every one of you. And we encourage you to hashtag keep shining. Love and light. It will lead us home. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye.
Thanks for chiming in. Thanks, Ann.
Namaste.
Blessings. Sadnam.
Satnam.